Hello everyone. So we are back with the next session on trust building, and we all know that it is very important to build trust at workplace. And what are the ways by which we can build trust at workplace? One of the important ways is transparent communication. Promoting the transparent communication is the one of the most easiest way by which you can build trust at workplace. A healthy organization, a developing organization, the organization moving towards the success, the organization which has a high retention rate, is the organization which promotes transparent communication and which has a strong environment of trust within the employees. Until and unless the employees do not trust each other, the organization cannot move towards success. It is as simple as that. Like, let's take the example of a family function. In family function, there are a lot of things which are to be done to make the function go grand, to make the function go a hit, a successful one. It is very important that you just trust each other and trust each other that they are going to fulfill their work on time. Along with that, not only stepping back after giving them their roles and responsibility, along with that, you stand by their side and make them understand and be a supporting and helping hand for them. How that is developed? That is because of the trust we have on our family members. We have trust on our siblings, on our friends, that yes, if I have given them that work, they are going to deliver that effectively. Same way, organization is a kind of family which we have. And if we do not have the trustworthy environment in the organization cannot move towards the success, cannot grow, cannot achieve the desired goals and objectives within time. And that is why one of the reason of transparent communication is very important when we talk about having the organization where we focus on building the trust. Transparent communication is nothing but just a two-way communication that exists between the employees and the management. Most of the organization, why the retention rate is very low. The reason is because the people are not allowed to communicate openly. They are not allowed to share their views, to share their feedback. And if you are not allowed with the two-way open communication, ultimately the employees are not growing in the organization. When we are talking about open communication, it just gives the employees the feeling that yes, we are also an internal and an important part of the organization, because people listen to us. Our manager, our employees listen to the feedback, the suggestions which we are giving, and along with that, if the suggestion and execution are and the feedback is good for the organization, they do value that, they do value us. So that is the way you are promoting the transparent communication. And once you promote the transparent communication, you are stepping close to the environment of building trust within your team members. A team having trustworthy environment, a trustworthy atmosphere among themselves will always move towards the success. And the team which do not have the trustworthy environment, that even struggles to survive. So transparent communication is just about two-way open communication that exists between the employees and the management. Along with that, It is the act of both good and bad information being shared upward, downward, horizontal, vertical, everywhere. When we are talking about the transparent communication, it do not just only focus on sharing the goods about the people, it also focus on the bad, the negatives, the improving things which are required by the employees. So now let's say a manager is doing micromanagement in the open communication, and you're talking about transparent communication. The employees can easily approach them and tell them that please do trust us. We are going to get the work done on time. We do not like you micromanaging. So this way it will help the manager to know that yes, my team doesn't want me to do micromanage. So let me change my approach of managing the things and getting the work done by the employees. So today we are going to talk about the ways for promoting the transparent communication in the organization. The first way by which you can promote the transparent communication in the organization is place trust in your employees. First thing is place trust in the organization. Why I have been focusing on trust in the organization? Because it is an essential part of transparent communication. Transparency in communication is only possible when there is trust on other person. If you think that my employees are going to share this confidential information with other person, you're never going to share with them the details about the work, the goals, the targets which your organization have set for them. And if they are not aware about that, they cannot achieve them on time. So having trust is very important for transparent communication. The atmosphere, the group in which trust exists, there only people communicate with each other effectively, efficiently by sharing all the important and relevant information with each other. Organization underestimate the importance of trust and fail to build it properly within. There are many organizations which thinks that trust is not an important part. Even if trust is not there, people are being productive, they are delivering the work. That is all we want for the growth of the organization. We just want our employees to finish off the work on time. But believe me, if the trust is not there, people won't survive in the organization for the longer duration. These are the organizations which underestimate the importance of trust, are the organizations which have very low retention rate. And you know why they fail to bring that? Because they do not focus on bringing the employees together. They just focus on getting the work done. For them, what matters is that work should be completed on time, work should be done on time, except that they are least bothered about anything else. So these organizations which underestimate the importance of trust, they fail to build it properly within. These people, they even when they're delegating the work, they even don't tell the employees why they're making them do that. They just want them, just finish off this task and get back to me. This shows the lack of trust on the employees. So trusting your employees gives them some autonomy, and employees are no longer being spoon-fed and micromanaged as much. Micromanagement is one of the indicators that you do not have trust on your employees. The managers, the leaders which micromanage the things, which spoon feed the thing, they do not have trust on their knowledge, skills, talent, creativity of their employees. And this creates a negative image on the mind of the employees when they have the employer who are always putting their nose in each and every work they are doing, or they just want to spoon feed them. Because when you are spoon feeding the employees, somewhere you are just stopping them to grow. because you're just telling them, do not use your mind, just use your hands to do what I'm saying. This way, it is going to affect the development of the employees, which the employees may not like and may not like to work in such an organization. The first thing you have to do is place trust in your employees. You have to bring trust within the group. Along with that, the trust should be there between you and your employees also. Second thing is hold regular team meetings for transparent communication. Again, it is very important that you hold the regular team meetings. This is more important now in where we all are working remotely. Regular meeting may not be very important when we were working physically in the organization, but now when the culture has changed, when the ways of working has changed and everyone is working remotely, it is very important now that you have regular meetings. Scheduling regular company-wide meetings gives you the opportunity to speak to everyone. Now, see, there are two benefits of scheduling the regular meeting. The first benefit is when you will regularly have the company-wide meeting, you will know that who all are there in your in the organization. You will get the opportunity to talk to each and everyone. And second, in case someday you are being asked to manage a cross-functional team, there you won't find different new faces all of a sudden in your team. You will be aware about those faces because somewhere in your life you have already once interacted with those persons, so it is going to be bit easy for you to manage those cross-functional teams. So for that purpose, it is very important that you schedule the regular company-wide meeting, which will give you the opportunity to speak to everyone. Now, regular company-wide meeting doesn't mean that every month, every week, every day you're supposed to organize these company-wide meeting. No, it can be once in every quarter, it can be once in every 2 months, where you are having the regular company-wide meeting, where you are giving the opportunity for the people to come up with their concern, raise their concern, to come up with a suggestion, so that each and every person in the meeting knows about other person available in the meeting. Communicate any important upcoming project, initiative, events, and charges. So regular meeting is again very important when you want to communicate important projects, initiatives, events, and changes. You know, if you just circulate about the important projects or events which you are taking, it may not give you the good results. So when you want that the people should be aware about the upcoming projects, initiative, and why we have done that, it becomes very important that you just conduct a meeting and then circulate this information, so that the people can ask you, people can talk to you, that okay, why we have taken this project, what is the benefit we are going to get through this project, what responsibilities, what is the deadline. So no, these questions cannot be answered when you're just simply communicating this communicating this information via through mail, or just the brochure or any updates which you are sharing. No, to make the communication transparent, to make the communication effective, make sure you are holding the meeting and then you are communicating these important upcoming projects, initiatives, events, changes to your employees. It also gives employees the opportunity to ask the question. That's what I said. When you are communicating it via mail, it doesn't give them the opportunity to ask the question. But when you will be in a meeting, if any question comes in their mind, if any suggestion comes in their mind, it is going to give them the opportunity to share their suggestions, to share their ideas, their creativity, their feedback. spontaneously in the same meeting. Stick to your regular meetings and let them become the routine. And another thing is, it is very important that you conduct regular meeting. At least your entire team should meet once in a day, so that you can check on their progress, that what they have done and what they are planning to do the next day. So make it your regular meeting, that no matter what, how much work we have, from 1 to 1:30, or morning 10 to 10:30, or evening 5:30 to 6, we are going to meet every day for our regular meeting. Let this become your regular habit, your routine, so that you will see that yes, your team is, what your team is doing, how much they have accomplished, and do they need any kind of resources, any kind of help from us. The third way of yes, the third way of promoting transparent communication in the workplace is set clearly defined roles and responsibilities. You have to set the clearly defined roles and responsibilities for your team members. See, until and unless the roles and responsibilities are not clear, people are not aware in the team that what roles they have to do, what responsibilities they have to fulfill, they cannot deliver the best result. And if the roles and responsibilities are not clearly defined, it indicates that there is no transparent communication in the organization. So to have that transparent communication in the organization, make sure you set clearly defined roles and responsibility for each and every member of your team. Building a clear, efficient organizational structure. Build a clear and efficient organizational structure, that, okay, this is our organizational structure, this is the work which we are going to do, and this is the work, this is the hierarchy which we are going to follow. So have a clearly defined, efficient organizational structure. Along with that, define everyone's roles and responsibilities clearly. Another important thing is, you have to make sure that you are defining the roles and responsibility of each and every person clearly. You have to make sure that each and every person is clear about what role and responsibility he has to fulfill for the upcoming project. Create an organizational chart so that they are aware whom to report and who is their immediate boss, whom to approach for the help, whom to approach for the resources. So that organizational chart should also be created for the transparent communication. And along with that, it will encourage transparency in the workplace by setting out clear and unambitious organizational structure. In most of the organization, you will find that the organization which do not have a structure, people are struggling to whom to report, who is going to give them the work, who is going to tell them what to do. So, to avoid these kind of problems, to avoid these kind of misunderstandings, it is very important that you have a clearly defined organizational structure. A clearly defined organizational structure will help the employees to work effectively towards their goals, and will also know that in case of any help, whom to approach. So make sure you have a clearly defined roles and responsibility. Along with that, you have a clear organizational chart also. The fourth way is prioritize communication. Prioritize smooth and effective communication. Establish open line of communication also. In the organization, people are not here just to work. That they'll come to the organization, they'll start doing their work, they'll finish up their work, they'll leave, and it is done. No. The communication, it is very important that you enable the employees to communicate with each other effectively and efficiently. You are giving them the platform where they are talking, they are communicating with each other, and they are knowing each other effectively and efficiently. So for this, you have to establish an open line of communication. Open line of communication means the communication which is open, where you know that okay, you can communicate to this person, this respective person. So you are open to communicate with any person in your team. That open line of communication should also be there. Develop a workplace culture that naturally welcomes and encourages us. There should be a workplace culture which is naturally welcoming this communication, that yes, we encourage communication. We want our employees to communicate with each other, to know each other, to build the bond and the environment of trust amongst each other. Make your employees to trust the process and know that their feedback won't be criticized or shunned. So you have to make your employees understand that process. You know, by establishing the process, your work is not done until and unless your employees are not aware about that process, that this is the process which we have to follow. You know, your making the process is a waste. So prioritizing communication, when we are talking about establishing open line communication, doesn't mean only establishing it. It also means that you are implementing that open line communication among your team, among the employees. You need to make your employees to trust that process, that yes, this process is good, it is for their own benefit. And along with that, also know their feedback and tell them that their feedback are not going to be criticized, or we are going to accept your feedback with the open mind, and if required, we are going to implement them as well. If we see that implementing these feedback is going to give us good return, it is going to create more open and effective communication system, the organization is open to accept those feedbacks as well. The last way of communicating transparently, the ways to promote transparent communication is get everyone on the same page. Now, it is very important to get each and every person on the same page. Everyone in the organization should be on the same page. Same page means the rules, regulation, policies, goals, vision, mission of the organization should be clear to each and every person, and that should be same. You know, what goal we have set for the organization, for what project the organization is running, what is the vision mission of the organization. Each and every employee working in the organization should be aware about that thing. It should not be such that managers are aware like what we want to achieve, what the organization want to achieve, what the organization is doing, and other employees are not even aware about that. No, when you are working into the organization, it's very important that everyone in the organization should be on the same page, where they all have the same information, same knowledge about the vision, mission, goals, rules, regulation, policies of the organization. You know, when they communicate with each other, when they talk to each other, it should look that yes, each and every person knows, each and every person shares the same information about the rules and regulation of the organization. What the organization is doing, goal, its vision, and its value. That's what we have just discussed, that what the organization is going, the goals, visions, and values, all should be clear to each and every employee working in the organization. Every employee has their part to play, because you know the goals, vision, mission of the organization, every employee have their specific part to play in the organization. You know, everyone is responsible, everyone is contributing towards the growth of the organization. So every person should be aware about the rules, regulation, the vision, and the mission of the organization, so that he can know that where his part is contributing in the success of the organization. Create a situation where everyone is working towards the same end result. You have to make all the employees to work ultimately for the same results. Whatever they are working, they should be aligned with the goals of the organization, that after finishing of their task, everyone is on the same page. They all are doing the same thing by which they have achieved the goals of the organization. Let every employee action get tied in some way to a single common goal. That means the alignment of the goal is very important, that every person's goal should be aligned with the other person's goal also, because ultimately we all are working towards the goal of the organization. Now if the organization just have one common goal, so how the activities of the people can differ, how they can perform different set of activities? That is not possible, right? They cannot perform different set of activities. They cannot have different goals which are not aligned by the goal of the organization. If the individual goals are going to be aligned with the goal of the organization, then somewhere the individual goal, the individual working will be aligned with the working of other person also. So you have to ensure that employees' action are tied in some or the other way with the single common goal of the organization. Now, with this, we have finished the ways of promoting the transparent communication in the organization. So let's just discuss about some of the examples. What are the examples of transparency you can try with your team? Right, you'll be working in the organization sooner or later, and you will be maybe you'll be working as a leader. So what are the examples of transparency which you can try? So the first thing is the salary part. There is no transparency about the salary structure in the organization, isn't it? Unfair differences in the compensation of the employees, it can create a havoc in the organization. So when you are talking about promoting the efficiency, you have to ensure some way where you are being fair and you are paying them fair compensation for the employees working in the organization with the same level of experience on the same designation. So there are a lot of things. We will be discussing about some of the examples which you can try with your team for promoting the transparent communication. But today, after this, we will be starting with the ways to establish effective transparent communication. Now, we were just talking about the ways to promote effective communication. Now, in this session, and now next, we will be talking about how we can establish that effective transparent communication in the organization. We all know that creating the transparent communication in the organization is very important. So what are the ways by which you can establish that effective transparent communication? The first way is trust your employees. Transparent communication is completely based on trusting your employees. If you cannot trust your employees, if you do not trust your employees, you are not promoting your employees towards transparent communication. Can you get chicken before the egg? No. So start being transparent by trusting and empowering your employees to make decisions on their own. Now, when you are delegating the work, when you are giving them the work, you need to ensure that you allow them to take their own decision. You only tell them that this is the work which is to be done, and now give them the full autonomy to take the decision of their own, that okay, this is the work I have to do, and I have to take the decisions related to that work. Now, it doesn't mean that once you have delivered the work and once you have given them the autonomy to take the decision of their own, you do not have to look towards that. No, you have to be present there as a supporting hand in case they're stuck somewhere, in case they are unable to find the ways of doing that thing. No, you just have to make sure that you are giving them the autonomy. You are allowing them, you're empowering your employees to make the decision, but along with them, you're standing by their side to provide them this supporting hand as and when required. So the first way of trusting your employees is give them the empower them, trust them, and empower your employees to make their decision on their own. No micromanaging and letting employees perform their duties. Do not micromanage, do not spoon feed your employees. You know, your employees also have got their professional degree, they have also got that skill. That is why they're hired for a specific task, right? Let's say a person has been hired for making the marketing strategy or doing the financial analysis of the business. If you're telling them, okay, use this method of evaluation the financial status of the organization, you have to use this approach. So what is the reason of hiring that employee with that skill set? If you have to train everything, you have to tell everything, then go and hire a person who is not expert in that field. You know, spoon feeding can work with any employee who just have the basic knowledge or basic information about that. Right? Spoon feeding can be done with any of the employees. So now here, when we are talking about the trusting employees, here you have to make sure that you're not micromanaging and you're not spoon feeding the employees. You just let the employees perform their duty by taking their own decision to get the work done. What matter here is the work should be finished on time and as per the by achieving the desired result, keeping in mind the rules and regulations, the policies of the organization. Rest, it's the employee's lookout how he want to finish up the work, how he want to achieve his task on time, how he want to accomplish the task. So do not micromanage, be a supporting hand, be a guide to them, and let the employees perform their duties. Establish a culture where continuous learning is encouraged. You know, when you will allow them to take the decision, it is going to help them to increase their knowledge as well. Because see, you have to encourage a culture where you support continuous learning. Yeah, continuous learning is encouraged in the organization, that you want your employees to continuously learn and grow in the organization. You do not have to promote an environment where you are just telling them and they are just getting the work done. You do not want the puppets in your organization to whom you are making them dance and getting the work done. You want the real challenge takers in the organization who just want to develop themselves, who just want to continue their growth in the, not just the growth for the organization, but the individual growth also, who continuously learn. And for this, you will have to encourage that environment where you are giving them the autonomy, you're giving them the power to take the decisions and to work the way they want to work, because this is the only way by which you can bring out their creativity and you can make them grow professionally also, personally and professionally also. Normalize giving and receiving straightforward feedback in daily work. Just give the straightforward feedback and receive this straightforward feedback in for your daily work. It is very important, because when you will provide them with the feedback, then only they will get to know that yes, what they have to learn and how much still they have to learn. So normalize giving and receiving straightforward feedback in your daily work. So with this, we have come to the end of today's session. There are few more ways by which you can establish effective transparent communication. That is the things which we are going to discuss in next session is have defined goals, then meet with your team regularly. These are the two more things which we are going to discuss in the next session of trust building. And after this, we will be discussing about the signs you are not being a transparent leader. There are some signs by which you can say that your leader is not a transparent leader. And along with that, we will be just discussing about some of the examples of practicing transparency at your workplace. So with this, we have come to the end of today's session of trust building. So we'll see you with the last session of the day, that is time management, in next 10 minutes. Till then, bye-bye. Have a wonderful day.